Energy. From cooking to cars to computers, it's fundamental to modern life. You've probably noticed that making and using energy has an impact. But how would you go about reducing that impact? It's difficult to know where to start, isn't it? Luckily, you've come to the right place, because this is the story of energy. Let's start with the mobile phone, something now over 92% of us Brits own. Like all the other gizmos and gadgets we have in our lives, your phone uses energy. So, for every second that it's plugged in, your electricity bill will be creeping up. And it all adds up too, with the typical house using around 3,330 kilowatt hours per year, which costs about £480. Certainly not an insignificant amount. Let's now revisit our trusty mobile, still plugged in of course. But that's not the only thing in this house that needs power. Since 1970, the number of electronic goods in the average UK household has trebled, contributing to a 600% increase in energy consumption. And charging mobile phones is just the tip of the iceberg. We all leave devices on standby, forget to switch off lights, and in general use electronic devices that we don't really need. Multiply that by an estimated 25 million homes in the UK, add in the demands of industry, transport, retail, and agriculture, and you realise that we're a nation hooked on energy. And the worrying thing is, our energy demands are increasing all the time, which means we're becoming more and more dependent on foreign energy sources and on fossil fuels that are running out.
Hi, I'm Sarah Backhouse, back with more on our energy series in partnership with the Switch Energy Project, the campaign to educate global citizens about the science of energy. Today we examine the environmental impact of energy. First, there are harmful gases like methane, nitrous oxide and carbon dioxide that are produced during production. Second, it takes a lot of land and water use to produce energy. Here's Dr. Scott Tinker with a deeper explanation.
All energy has environmental impacts, from air to water to solid waste to land use and beyond. The key is managing these effectively and affordably into the future. The most discussed and debated environmental effect today is CO2 emissions. All fossil fuels, when burned, produce them. Nearly half of our CO2 emissions come from coal. More than a third comes from oil. Some countries are talking about reducing CO2 emissions. How much and what effect that will have on the atmosphere, warming, and energy production is yet to be seen. There are other emissions we agree on more completely. Sulfur dioxide causes acid rain. Nitrogen oxides erode the ozone layer. Both of these, mostly from coal and oil, we control to some degree. But as a global society, we don't do a very good job of managing gaseous wastes, a big area for improvement. We're better with solid and liquid wastes. Most coal ash is captured. Large oil spills are rare. We've done a good job to date of keeping nuclear waste out of the environment, but we can improve here too. Water use is becoming an increasingly big issue in unconventional oil and gas production, for cooling power plants. Even concentrating solar plants use a lot of water. While energy uses a small fraction compared to agriculture and industry, we'll likely see greater tension over water in the future. Good reason to work now to minimize quantities and improve recycling. Finally, there's land use. Renewable energies, wind, solar, hydro, biofuels, cover much larger areas than more concentrated energies, like nuclear and fossil fuels. How much land we're willing to use for energy in the future will likely depend on where the land is and what energy it's used for. In general, though, we've been reducing the environmental impacts of energy over time, but at a price. It's usually more expensive to make energy cleaner, and the cost gets passed along to consumers. As energy prices continue to rise, the key to a successful energy future is minimizing environmental impacts while keeping energy affordable, and using the prosperity that affordable energy brings to continue to invest in the environment.
Corporate sustainability. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is the type of growth that satisfies the needs of today's generation without compromising the possibilities of the future generation to meet their own needs. What do we understand by sustainable development today? There are three dimensions implied. Environmental, where no renewable resource should be used in a rate faster than nature's ability to replenish it. No contaminant should be produced in a higher rate than the ability of nature to absorb it or neutralize it.